Welcome to your EV News. Will the Canadian government join sides with the US in tariffs on Chinese vehicles? As China explodes with EV production, especially cheap EVs, they plan on dominating the market in EVs and can seriously hurt domestic production of electric vehicles. This could have a domino effect on the Canadian economy, plus trade relations with our largest trading partner, the USA. The US has already implemented strong tariffs against Chinese imports and has increased tariffs on other goods from China. The Canadian Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne has suggested to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to follow suit with our US neighbors in placing tariffs on artificially cheap Chinese imported EVs as a way to protect the Canadian auto industry and their workers. President Joe Biden announced earlier this week that the US will be slapping new tariffs on Chinese EVs, advanced batteries, solar cells, steel, aluminum, and medical supplies, and are to be phased in over the next 3 years. Canada plans on following step with these guidelines. Although Chinese EVs account for a tiny segment of the overall vehicles in Canada and the USA, they have plans on selling their BYD or Burn Your Driveway buses to Vancouver's Transit as well as the Toronto Transit Commission. Gee, wouldn't that be great? Then we can see more like this, like they do in the UK, where their EV buses just seem to like to burn or spent countless days requiring repairs. Premier Doug Ford of the Ontario government on Thursday called Ottawa to immediately match US tariffs on Chinese imports, as well as a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs. I think this is a small step, in my opinion. They should just simply outright ban all Chinese EV sales, period. Why would we want any Chinese company selling sophisticated electronic equipment, especially ones that are constantly connected to the internet to receive OTA updates? Huawei was under investigation and has been banned in Canada and the US for spying. And if anyone knows Chinese manufacturing and business, they'll know that it's all owned by the CCP. Canada is considering the implications of the threat of cheap Chinese EVs flooding the market and is taking account for the situation in Europe and Australia, where apparently cheap Chinese EVs are flooding the market in the typical oversupply method of the Chinese Communist Party, where they overproduce a product, driving its price down artificially and usually with very poor build quality and safety standards, flooding a market. This type of aggressive stance has been seen time and time again with their Belt and Road Initiative, where they put developing countries into massive debt to the Chinese government, allowing them to flood their market or use their ports however they deem fit. As the Chinese EV market gains strength and they push into other countries like the US and Canada, we'll see more and more incidents of EV fires, as Chinese EVs are not built to the same stringent quality control we see in Canada and the US with car makers like Ford, GM, and Stellantis. Although Canada's imports of EVs mainly come from the USA and Korea, Chinese imports have seen a nearly 2,000% increase in 2024 over 2023 numbers. In 2023, Chinese EV imports were only 33 million, while in 2024 is ballooned to over 400 million, beating even German EV imports. This will only make Canadian roads more dangerous, putting Canadian manufacturing into jeopardy, and could potentially pose a serious security risk to Canada's EV infrastructure. Chinese EVs are produced using very dirty methods of electricity production, such as coal and oil-fired plants, with heavy polluting coal as the main method of power production in China, which accounts for nearly 60% of all electricity production in China. So if you think buying that green, cheap Chinese EV is going to be helping the environment, think again. And do you really think that buying a Chinese EV is good for your own personal informational security? The Chinese government is well known for spying on Canada and the US.
In there and get it. Let's go. Oh yeah! Woo! Here we go, baby! Get him! Get it! Yeah! Yeah!
I just heard the boom.
If we all allow these Chinese EVs that are all OTA connected, we may be in for a whole new world of hurt. Well, that's it for this edition of EV News. Thanks for watching.